Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Book Club Corner. I want to thank you for tuning in with us today. Every Wednesday, we chat with an author about their books, about the love for the written word, and about the literary arts across the Caribbean. So, thank you for sticking with us. And thank you for being here, viewers across Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. And today we have with us a really special author. His book is called Third World to First Class. And we want to introduce to you this first time author. And his name is Shankkeel Alleyne. Welcome, Shankkeel.
Thank you.
And before we get into Shankkeel, his book, his fantastic literary exploits, you know how we do it on Book Club Corner. And before I even get there, right, guys? So I have a problem today, right? You'll have to excuse me. I can't find my glasses. So I just put in all of the P's and Q's. You know, the author reads to us, but I usually like to flip through the book and have that won't be happening today, guys. I don't know where I put the glasses, so I can't see. All right? Everything looking a little fuzzy. Well, except for you. I'm farsighted, so I just letting you know. So when you see me squeezing up my hand, squinting and stuff, you know, say the wine like it get into her, right? You're not gonna think that. Don't think that. So we're gonna get into some wine today. We do this on Brunch on Book Club Corner every Wednesday. We have some wine, and today we have a very special wine. It's called Blue Devil, and this is by Irie Roots, by my good friend Marlene. Thank you very much, Marlene, for this. And we're going to be having some Blue Devil. I'm hoping it's going to treat us good today, Shankkeel. We do the 5 S's of wine tasting. So we're going to have some wine. We're going to look at the wine, look at the clarity. Right? And then we swirl the wine. We're looking for the legs, so we swirl it. And then when I swirl, this one has some legs. So I'm expecting it to be a little on the sweet side, right? And then we sniff the wine. I'm getting some. Yes, and I'm getting some scents, some flavors. You know, when sometimes you smell, you taste. I'm getting that. Yeah. And then we sip and we savor. It is sweet as I expected, but it is delicious. Very delicious. Oh my gosh, just now. If you're all out there looking on, get your drink, get something to eat, get something delicious, sit and chat and chill with us. Cheers, Shankkeel. What did you think of the wine? Cheers. Yes. Shankkeel is a vintner, and I'll explain what that is. A vintner is a person who makes wines, right? So Shankkeel is a vintner himself, so he's going to be giving us some wines, right?
For sure. Sharply.
Yes. So we are going to talk about this book. Shankkeel, because I gave Shankkeel the book because I can't find my glasses, right, guys? So I'll say, Shankkeel, the book is all yours. So today we're going to be talking about this book that you've written.
Yeah.
And, you know, this book introduces some very heavy topics.
Very, very.
I had some very strong feelings when I read this book, guys. And I told Shankkeel when I swam this morning. Side eyes for plenty people. Plenty people. And you will understand when we start to talk about the book why I had such strong feelings, right?
Yeah.
But Shankkeel, before we get into the meat of the matter, before we get into some of these heavy topics, tell us, what made you want to become an author?
Okay, so I had to get a message out. And really it's a movie I wanted to put out. Yeah. But as I going along, I was like, a movie wouldn't be easy to put out right now. The money and all these things. Yeah, I ain't reached that level. So I was like, let me start with a book because a book, as I said, come like a script.
Yes.
Yeah, so right now I start at my toddler days. Right now is an open book too because after toddler, gonna write about my teenage, which I'm working on right now,
Right.
and then my adult, which is now. So, because I'm still facing trials, you know, but you're getting there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shankkeel and I were talking about this book and about how authors can become, how your book can become a movie.
Yeah.
Right, and the idea about turning your book into a movie script and so on. And we're gonna bring on some authors who have been turning their books into movies
From
soon.
Tobago?
Yes, as across the Caribbean, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
just look out for that, viewers. We're going to be heading down that road where we're going to be talking to some authors and to persons who are in the film industry right here in Tobago about how to get your book into a movie, right? So I know that's what you're thinking. I'm hearing you. You want to go down that road, right? But
Sure.
I want you to tell us, you wanted to put your story down. You wanted to visually depict what your life had been. And, you know, as I say, you do what you can. And at that time, you said to yourself, you know, it's going to take a bit more than what I have right now to do the movie. So I'm going to do the book.
Yeah.
That's what you told yourself.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your book? About the fact that you were able to tell your story and get it out there?
Now I'm feeling good, but at the moment writing it, no, I wasn't feeling good because I had to go and dig up old scars. So sometimes I write in and I so deep into it, it's like I flinching, you know? And then realizing I had to get that book a rest. Since I write it, I ain't even go back in it too.
Yes.
I was back and then even tell you where certain topics at, you know?
This is an autobiography. Guys, it's an autobiography. That's why he's talking about, you know, digging up in certain things. And a lot of persons are using autobiographies as a cathartic process, meaning they're using it to get certain things off the chest, right? And to get over some things because you feel as if, you know, some things may have happened to you, and all of us have our own stories. That's not it. But you may feel as if, you know, you have some things in your life that you feel you can't, you know, when you eat something and it, as the Bajans say, keep repeating, it ain't digesting properly. Some experiences in your life feel like that. Like it is just this movie looping, coming back to you all the time, and you want to get away from it. You know, and writing really helps that process, being able to, okay, I'm done with that, right?
True.
I release it, I'm done with it. I think I'm able to face it and say, you know, you didn't do me right, but I forgive you so that I could move on.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll forget you though.
No, I can't forget. What to forget?
I'll forget you. Shankkeel, tell us about, you know, not just about your book as an autobiography. What was the response from your friends and your family? Because you write about some sensitive things. And I know we're not giving away anything. We're just kind of teasing the public, right? We're going to get into some of these things that you've written in the book. But how did your friends and family feel about the book? Perhaps hearing about some of your experiences for the first time.
To be honest, I didn't get no feedback from people who read the book, you know. Yeah, I didn't get no feedback from no one. But what I gotta say, like, what I heard from people is more like, congratulations, thing.
Yes.
Some friends who, when I was telling them I'm gonna write a book, they didn't believe. Well, that it was shocking because where we is, you know, in the street.
Yes.
So, them hearing that from a street brethren is like, all right, well, you know that, you know, it's unbelievable.
We'll,
you know,
we'll
like,
believe it when we see it.
So when I finished it, it was like, make them realize that, you ain't just a talker, you really for where, you know, where you see now.
Shankkeel, as they say, what's the mark for them? Tell them what this book has in it. Tell the viewers what this book is about.
The book is about pain, really, you know. Yeah, pain, abuse, struggles, some dark moments where that created me, you know, to become, according to a chapter in the book, becoming militant.
Yes. I'm going to read these chapters out so people know what this book, what to expect. Because you should get this book. Go on Amazon, get the book, call Shankkeel, get a copy of this book. So, again, I said I don't have my glasses, so don't laugh at me, people. Table of contents, right? So, chapter 1, first flight. 2, guard me from my guardian. Side eye for the guardian. 3, 10,000 feet. Next one, mental shackles. 5, no escape. On the hunt. 6, 7, becoming militant. 8, worst summer. 9, get the bag. 10, losing a friend, gaining another. 11, who I looked up to. This is a quick read. It's a good read. This is a book you could put in your bag, put in your suitcase as you're traveling, read it anywhere, right? There's no excuse. Oh gosh, it's too long, it's too big. It's lightweight. You see how thin it is? You can carry this book anywhere, right? You can have it in your hand as you go through customs. You read this on your trips, read this as you're relaxing. This you could read in probably one night, I'm telling you. Yeah. So get this book and share in this experience. I had some strong feelings, Shankkeel, when I read this book. Some strong feelings. And I have some pet peeves, guys. I was telling Shankkeel, for how I feel about some of the topics that came up with your book, right? Yeah. Abuse. Adults beating on and abusing children, right? And what we call not sparing the rod. And I was telling Shankkeel, it is my perspective. Now, I'm sharing it. Don't come for me. This is mine. If you are not allowed by law to beat adults, you should not be allowed to beat children. They're half our size, quarter our size, an eighth of our size as adults. Why are you allowed to put your hands on a child if you are not allowed by law to put your hands on an adult who can beat you up, right? And who can fend for themselves, there's domestic violence laws. Why do we need those if you can beat children? I say you should not be able to beat children. They're not able to defend themselves. That's just my pet peeve. So, yeah. That's how I feel. I'm not taking it back. Yeah. I don't approve of beating children. You should be able to speak to them. And if you can't speak to them, figure out some way to communicate with them. Yeah. Right? And if there's a problem, Tobago is a wellspring of very talented people, very smart people, capable and professional. There are therapists, social workers everywhere. Yeah. So you have no excuse. Okay, guys? That's just my 2 cents. Shankkeel, when I read this chapter, let me tell you what chapter I was reading, right?
Yeah, let me hear which one.
Guard me from my guardian. And there is a part in that where you talk about you were going on a trip. I don't know if you remember that part.
I know the first chapter is where I was talking about the trip.
Oh, yeah, and you had a bag.
Yeah, that's the first chapter.
Yeah. Y'all, I'm not giving away any, we're not giving away any spoilers, but Shankkeel, tell them about this trip you took, and tell them about this bag you had.
Well, it was like, going on a trip with the family, which I wasn't even supposed to go, but, I get through. And remember, I come from a poor home, so when I go to that family day and going on that trip, I didn't prepare. I wasn't even prepared to go by that family, meaning like having the clothes, having things. So when it was like going on a trip, it's like, and that's the first time I traveling to. So it's like, I didn't even know where I put my clothes in, and it's a plastic bag I had to put my thing in. Yeah, and they call the machine that just bring the luggage.
Conveyor belt.
Right. Yeah. Seen my bag on that spinning about 2 times and ashamed to pick it up because, real people,
You talk about some real things, but you had me giggling with that. I just imagine you standing up there and your bag going
what?
wrong.
I watching my plastic bag.
This plastic bag on the conveyor belt at the airport going wrong and people wondering, Well, who is the owner of this
Before,
bag?
shame.
Listen, parents has put you in some positions too. Oh gosh.
I hold him back. I hold him back everybody because everybody get a bag.
Yes, and they
Yeah.
wondering where your bag.
Yeah, where my thing. I know what my thing is now. I just can't pick it up.
Listen, it's not just poor homes these stories come out of, right? I'm gonna give you a story. So there was this girl in my class. They weren't having financial issues, but her mother was in a hurry. End of the term, you come and you have to empty your desk, right? So her mother came for her. She had to empty her desk and take all her books and stuff. She had not been one of those children who were taking home books little at a time. So her desk was chock full of all sorts of rubbish. And her mother pulled up, where your bag? Mommy, I still have the things in the desk, gotta empty it. And the mother pulled out 2 garbage bags from the back of the truck.
So
and empty everything in the garbage bag. We stand up watching.
Laughing? Nobody
Yeah,
laugh?
and well, you can't really laugh. The mother stand up right there. If it was her alone, we might have laughed. But mommy stand up there, what? Mommy could not care less. Mommy empty everything in the garbage bag and say, you keep him a back, child.
Yeah.
Let's go, right? Parents have no shame. We just be like, Jesus, you're hiding your face? Parents have no shame at all. So I found that was one of the lighter, so it started dark for me, right? Where you were talking about the fact that you didn't have anything to put your clothes in.
Yeah.
And, you just pick up a bag. You pick up a plastic bag, throw things in, and I want to go, so I'm not letting nothing keep me back.
Yeah.
And I felt that was one of the more interesting perspectives in life. You didn't let anything keep you back.
Nah, at all.
You wanted to go on a trip. You had nothing to put your things in, and you said, oh, well.
Yeah, I go in. I'm thinking it's foreign. I go into. No, in Chinnar, I go on.
You're going overseas.
Yeah, first flight, I say, first flight.
I'm chuckling because, it's just a window into the perspective of you. And that is one of the things that has marked your life.
Yeah.
I'm not letting anything stop me. Not the pain of my childhood, not the people who did not care for me, not the things I didn't have. I'm going to make it. Yeah? We're going on a quick break. Shankkeel and I are going to be talking, but y'all come back with us as we continue to talk. Shankkeel Alleyne, Third World to First Class, a really quick, easy read, guys, lightweight, paperback, 109 pages. Yeah, 109 pages. Get this book. Come back with us in a few minutes. Hi, we're back. We're back with Shankkeel Alleyne, the first-time author, Third Class to First World. Get this book. It's an amazing
Third
book.
World to First Class.
Quick read. What did I say? Third Class?
Third Class, yeah.
That might be the wine.
Yeah.
It might be the Blue Devil.
You take a shot for that.
Right? Like that. We take it a sip for that one. So Third World to First Class. And I was talking to Shankkeel about book marketing and getting his books in the bookstores because he's out of stock right now, he says, and he has to get some reprints. But what I want to highlight is this beautiful award you have here.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just going to pick this up for a bit. So he is a first-time author, and we want to make sure. Shankkeel, you hold it. Yeah. This is his award, first time author. So Nalis has this program, right? The First Time Authors Appreciation Program. And they do this to celebrate our first time authors. It's a very great achievement getting your first book.
Yeah, for real.
That is a great achievement.
The experience for the mainline. I respect them for that.
And they celebrate the authors. They have this whole ceremony. It's beautiful. And this year, this was the first time we had the award ceremony. Well, actually, the exhibition happening in Tobago. Yes, this year. Yeah, so they had a first-time authors exhibition of the books in Tobago. This was the first time in 14 years.
Wow, never heard what I want there.
Yeah. So I ended up going. It was beautiful. I really appreciated it.
And this was?
This was probably about a month ago.
I miss out about it.
Yeah, so it is something that, I want to commend Nalis for doing this program.
Yeah.
Every year for 14 years, and COVID didn't stop them. They had to kind of shelve it for a little bit, but then they got all the authors they had missed and make sure everybody was celebrated. So
That's nice.
congratulations to Nalis for this beautiful program, this first time authors appreciation program. It is a worthwhile program. I hope it never stops.
Yeah.
Some people, this is the only award they're going to get. And this is not to say anything negative.
Nah,
I'm simply saying,
it's not no shade or not nurturing. It's
Yeah.
just,
some
yeah.
people, they're not going to get any other award. And it's just nice to be celebrated as an author.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you on your
Thank
first
you,
book.
thank you, thank
Yes. Authors out there, if you're looking to get your book written, get your book published, get it edited, sorted out, be encouraged. Don't feel like it will never happen for you. Take your time, right? And get all the information, do your research. Call the Tobago Writers Guild. You could call me, ask me anything you want. Find me on Facebook. Do ask me for my number here. Go on Facebook and look for me, Jewel Green, and you could contact me and ask me anything. I help authors all the time. We want to get into some deeper parts of this book. My question to you, Shankkeel, did you ever get an apology from that guardian? An
Never get
acknowledgement?
apology, but I just got like a kind of backstory on what they went through.
Right.
Oh, yeah, so it's like that is them way are telling me that them went through
An
the same. Yeah,
explanation.
so that is why them, but it wasn't really an apology, but I
You
do real
understood.
tough, so it's like I doesn't feel like I need an apology, that way. That is me. But
Yes.
there are other people who will need it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I just one of the lucky ones who stronger than
Yeah, you need
expect,
some mental strength, to get through this
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Life is already hard, even when it's good.
For real,
It's tough already, even when it's good. So, people, please be good to each other. Please be good and kind to each other. Don't mess up your children or the children in your life around you. Please stop it. I'm just putting it out there. Stop what you're doing. Make a change. Think about what you're doing. Even if you had it growing up in the worst way possible, it's no excuse for you to continue being unkind, wicked, abusive, because that's what you learned, right? You can make a change. So I'm just putting it out there. Shankkeel, we want to get into some reading. We love to be read to on Book Club Corner, right? Reading aloud is one of my guilty pleasures. I don't know where you wanted to read from,
Chapter
but
7, I believe it is. I become a militant.
Here, Shankkeel,
Yeah.
I can't see.
Let me see.
You pick this spot.
Yeah.
Let me get comfy.
So, not all heroes wear capes, and not all soldiers wear camouflage. Yeah, that's the headline,
Read on.
That's the headline. All right, so this is how we go. In my mind, I felt like I can't say that word, bad soldier
Okay.
in the most intelligent army. And finding hideout spots, staying safe, and away from villagers' eyes was my mission. One thing for certain was that I was going to find a spot for Wendy and I to sleep even if it was too risky. Here's how it went down. First, we had to make it out of the street that Michael and Marlon lived in, without them seeing us, because if those boys saw us, they definitely were going to call us. Then that will alert the father, Trini, and we didn't want that. Even though Trini was not one of the fathers that will make a big deal out of stuff, I definitely wasn't about to blow my cover. I stuck to the code. The less people see us, is the less they speak. Wendy was not used to sleeping outside like I did. Whenever it felt like our backs were against the wall, the next move was to go back home. I would rather go days and nights without food or sleep than to go into that house called home. After convincing her that home was not safe and reminding her about the pain she endured from being in there, plus the pain that will come with going back tonight, she eventually toughened up and was ready to go for the run. As we were approaching the incline, we saw the lights on the inside of Chini's house. We knew Michael and Marlon were still up. To avoid getting seen, we tried walking past as silent as a mouse, but on the other side of the house, the front door was wide open. It would be impossible to pass without being seen. We waited in the bushes for the lights to come off, and for a moment it felt like they knew we were hiding and waiting to catch us. That wasn't the case. We were so accustomed to going into our beds early that it felt like they were up late, and we had no phone or any device at the time to alert us of the time. As time passed, we got frustrated when they decided that we should take the chance and walk past, but being as militant as I was, I couldn't agree. Then the sleep reminded me of its existence, and I wasn't about to be the dead weight. I fought it off and agreed on walking past. Casually, we started walking, keeping our heads straight as if we were strangers to the area. After a quick debate between Michael and Marlon, we heard Shankkeel. Yeah, we got busted. But this was just level one of the mission. With a smile, we both turned around and walked back to their house. Marlon was taking credit for telling Michael that it was us. As we get closer to the house, Michael, being the oldest, was concerned and started asking a lot of questions like, where had we been? And how come we were outside? We remained quiet with no response. With quick thinking, they noticed something was wrong. Then Marlon blurted out, Ole ran away. Wendy and I both said yes. After a couple more questions about our plans to stay safe during the night, Trini overheard us outside and came to see why we were not at home. At this time of the night, it was then that we had get into full detail about what transpired, the big incident that led us into running away. After telling him the reasons, he got angry and wanted to go and confront our guardian because he had observed us being abused but could not get involved due to reasons everyone else didn't. Michael had just prepared dinner and offered to share with us. That was something to remember because Wendy and I hardly knew anything about having supper. We took that coconut baked with eggs and milk with no hesitation. We actually ate it all before everyone could acknowledge their plate. The way Trini, Michael, and Marlon stared at us when they saw how quickly we emptied the plate was an awkward moment. We could tell that they cared about us because now I was feeling sorry for them for witnessing something so cruel and heartbreaking. Seeing that I was smart enough to know right from wrong and joy and sadness, they couldn't even finish eating from their own plate. They had offered what was left from them. Being offered more of that delicious dinner was something I am grateful for till this day. It reminded me that despite all the bad things I had faced during my lifetime, that there were good times in the bad. Keep going? Okay.
No, let's stop there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I loved where you talk about, it reminded you that there are good times, even in the bad times.
Yeah.
Not everybody has gone
So-
through, that's okay. Not everybody has gone through, abuse. But I think everybody understands from life experience. We
Yeah.
always have good days. It's not always sunny,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It's not always one of those beautiful days. But even in those hard times, we take courage.
True.
And I want to commend you for being able to put your pain onto the paper in such an eloquent way, right? That, we understood what was going on, but we could still feel the resilience in you as a person. I have to make it. I have to make it.
Yeah.
Who is Wendy?
That's my sister.
Your younger sister, older
Older.
sister?
That's my older sister.
Yeah. How did she feel about you writing about writing about her in your book?
As I told you, ev- I'm not sure if everyone kind of confused right now, but I don't think I ever heard she say anything about it. But I know she proud of she brother. She always proud of
Yes.
she brother, you know? Yeah,
I have two sisters. I'm very proud of them. Gold and Crystal, I love you all.
yeah, yeah.
I love your story, Shankkeel. It's such an amazing story. You know, that family sticking together, you and your sister,
Mm-hmm.
siblings, you know, fighting it out, duking it out
Yeah,
together
yeah, 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 yeah.
and making it in life. And I want to congratulate you for the things that you have accomplished. You have businesses,
Mm-hmm.
right? Multiple guys,
Yeah, yeah,
multiple
yeah, yeah, yeah.
businesses. He's a vintner, he makes wines. We're going to get some wine from
For
Shankkeel.
sure.
Tell us some of the other businesses that you do.
Do wings, which is Venom wings. Yeah,
Where can we get some of these delicious wings? And I hope you're dropping off a batch of these wings when you bring the wine,
for sure.
eh?
Wings and wine. Yeah,
Yeah.
and a book. Yeah, that is a very
Thank
good
you.
combination. Yeah, I have the clothing brand.
Yes, very
Yeah.
nice.
Right now, I'm working on a food trailer that is for the wings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when that finish build,
Yeah.
I'll be able to see which location, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Find a spot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you know, Canby's a nice area
Can be.
where
What the,
where I could come out and get some wings.
that you safe, you safe.
Canby's a really good area, and Penny Savers right there, everything right there.
That
You
is
know,
true. That's
we
a
have
good spot
plenty
in
food
true.
places. I just putting out a little, you
Yeah.
know, a little plug for the area.
Right. I'll keep it
Listen,
into consideration.
yes, definitely put it on the list. So,
Mm.
Shanky, we're wrapping up, but I want to get from you some final closing words. A child who is in your position that you were in, you're no longer there.
Mm.
A child who is in the position you were in, a person going through it, a person dealing with their tough life and now being the abuser. I
Mm.
want you to speak to two persons for me in that camera. Speak to the child going through it and speak to the person who is doing it. That perpetrator of abuse,
Mm.
I want you to speak to the two of them.
Well, for the child who going through it, what I would say to them is have a plan because that is what I did as a child. Like from the time, as I say, BET is what helped me to realize what I could put my story out to the world and become. Yeah, so I was like, so have a plan as in don't try to execute the person that abusing you because all type of things just go through your mind when you get an abuser. And you have to be real strong. Like, yeah, so have a plan as I say. Always remember that it wouldn't last forever. Because I remember them cousins and friends saying I got turned 18 just now and 18 was real. Like that too far, I going to abuse now. My head swell now. Me I want to hear about 18, but you can feel like it's a forever thing, a lifetime thing, but the tables got turned and to the person who doing the abusing. That same person, that same child that you're taking advantage of and abusing will grow up to be the one that have to see about you got what and to be honest with you, it's like they just turn so nice when they get old, but for some reason you just can't have that patience with them even though you want to. Because it's like you know they're playing nice now because they can't really, you know,
Yeah,
yeah, make certain moves. So
yeah.
just remember, after one is two, you know?
Oh my gosh, that's a Caribbean proverb, real.
Yeah,
After one is two, it can be your day one of these days. That's what it is. Tables
yeah.
will turn. You won't always be on the giving end of the abuse. Careful,
Careful,
careful.
careful,
You know, always
careful.
gonna be keeping the upper hand. You're gonna be the weakened
Yeah.
one of these days. You're gonna turn that elder who needs somebody to come help you get your food, get your
Yeah,
groceries, go on.
yeah.
Yeah,
you was feeding us and changing pampers and whatever, but we got grow to be changing your pampers and feeding you. So I know you wouldn't want nobody shove food down your throat and leave you there and you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe it are people that be treating their parents. But although you shouldn't grow up and do the same thing to your parent or a guardian or whoever the person was that taking care, you know.
Forgiveness. We're advocating for forgiveness, not for mercy for the person, but because if you stay there, you're not gonna have a good life.
Nah. Treat them
If
good.
you
Treat
stay
them
there
good.
mentally. But a lot of elder abuse, there's another topic. We're out of time, guys, but a lot of elder abuse is happening because they take after one is two, eh?
Yeah. So it's like it continuing.
Let's be honest, guys. And we're not saying that you should. We're not saying it should happen. We have things in place for that. But please remember, you will one day be an elder, and you do not want to be in a position for somebody to do you the wickedness that you may conceive in your mind to do a child. Remember, you're not always going to have the upper hand, okay?
One more thing before you go. Shout out to all the police officers and the soldiers that the guardian used to try to call to beat me now. But they was smart enough to realize that me ain't giving no trouble. If I do give trouble, this boy days, not like go outside and play football if I'm not supposed to go. But it's nothing to. So they were smart enough to observe that this young man in no trouble. And you know, they used to put up a front like they if they come back, they're going to beat me. But they used to actually tell me, we know you're no trouble, man. You know? So I gotta say hats off to the. If I could remember them, I could you know what I mean? Yeah,
that's
give them
so
some
important.
ratings.
It's beautiful. We want to thank all our protective services, our defense force, for standing in the gap in times like these where we have abuse happening in the home, and they come and step in and help. And you know, it's not all bad, guys. We know that, you know, the police officers are not, you know, that's one narrative. We know that there are other narratives. They do some very good work. We want to thank the defense force, teachers out there who are protecting the children, standing in the gap in some very bad situations. Thank you for this book, Shankkeel, for putting some light on those situations that you went through and other children are going through. Kids, if you're out there, remember that you can call the police. Don't just sit there in a situation. Relatives, if you're hearing about it, seeing about it, community members, if you know abuse is going on in your community with the children in your community, please call for help, step in, don't let it continue. It's in your power to help them today. Don't let it just pass and say, you know, I used to remember your mother and father used to beat you like a snake. You know, speak to them, please, right? We can all stop this cycle of abuse happening in our communities. Thank you, Shankkeel. And we want to thank our viewers. Thank you for being with us here today. We're talking about some very heavy topics, right? We had some wine to take us through because let me tell you.
Yeah. What's the name of the wine again?
This is Blue Devil wine, Irie Roots, Marlene Sharp. Thank you, Marlene, for this Blue Devil. It really helped to grease the wheels of this conversation because this was a heavy topic. Cheers to you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay tuned. J-Soul is coming back for you. And as we cheers and chill with some wine in the after session, you enjoy yourself, guys.